And welcome to another edition of Thoughts of the Roundtable with me, Matt Rebar.
And me, Paul Laux.
And it's been a little bit. I think last time we met, what did we talk about? Oh, we had a whole Guardians special. The Minions, yeah. Do you still stand firm in your opinion, by the way? Has that changed at all?
No, my opinion has not. My opinions do not change. My opinions are the right opinions. They are facts.
Yeah, my opinions strengthen over time, so.
No, I'm honestly just kind of over it. I don't want to get into it because we already did that, but honestly, just like the Facebook fan pages, I just want to be like, see fan articles and let's do it. It's like, okay, I get it. Can we just stop? Can we just move on?
You know, it's hard to like, because, you know, obviously we had a whole 23-minute podcast special about it. Like, it's hard because like part of you's like, yeah, who cares? But then the other part is like, well, we did kind of, we bought into it a little bit to discuss it.
Yeah, I mean, we did.
At the same, well, here's the difference though. We didn't complain really necessarily about like the change. We wanted the change, I think, to a degree. It was just more of like, that's the change. You know what I mean?
I don't even say I wanted it. I'm just saying it is what it is. I just wish we had a better name. But truthfully, they didn't change anything. I did go to my final Indians game. Well, probably, presumably, because having a kid makes it hard to do anything. Mm-hmm. But I was looking around the stands. I was like, I'm going to see these same kind of jerseys and everything next year. What's going to change?
Yeah, I think people are still going to wear the jerseys. So
I love how they're putting $500 million into the stadium, but somehow still not getting a roof. Can we please get a damn roof, please?
Yeah, they should.
$500 million and we're not putting a roof on. What are we going to do? Add 7 more barrios?
Okay. Well, didn't they just renovate a lot of that? Like, that's what I was so confused with. I'm like, we just renovated half that.
Well, one of the things, they're basically doing what they did with the Q, which is now, was it?
That big LED thing?
Let's be honest. The Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse looks 0% difference on the inside. Literally, once you walk in, it looks like the Gund Arena still.
I love how
has changed.
The Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse was like, girls, it's going to be a dramatic transformation, and they literally put like 20 art pieces and installations and was like, look at it now. And I'm like, it's still the same concrete shit that you always had.
They literally basically they just put glass block around the existing structure. Like, look how fancy it is. It's like once you spend 2 seconds and walk past that, you're just in the Gund Arena from 1996 watching the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Like, it is the same thing.
I will say though, like I feel like I'm a sucker for glass. When I see like glass, I'm like, ooh, it's the future. It's like so like sleek. Glass. No, like the way the glass buildings look. Like you're telling me like an all glass building, like that looks dope. That looks like fierce. It just screams like big building energy.
It depends on how it's done. Like I'm some famous architect. I don't know.
I don't know. Like about. I mean, I'm not a business guy, but I will agree that some of these renovations, you're like, you put millions and millions and millions and millions, and that's what we have. Like
they are redoing, I guess, part of the parking garage for Progressive Field. I'm like,
and who cares? Who cares?
Nobody can use that garage. It fills up in like 5 minutes. There's like 30 parking spots in there.
Here's another thing about like renovating the parking garage. Unless it's safety related, we don't need it.
No.
Who's gonna be like, oh my god, this parking garage? Look at the asphalt in this parking garage. Look at the look at the railings. Asphalt. Look at the railings. Look at the ticket booth in this parking garage. This is millions well spent in this parking garage. No, put it in the roof. The place.
One of the parking garages that I went to for the game, they didn't even have the person at the booth anymore. It just had a paper sign that said "Pay when you leave." I'm like, how many people are gonna be like, "Nah, I ain't doing that."
It's like the honor system. Like it's a parking garage where it's like, "Pay if you feel like it." You know? Like if you don't pay, you're a bad person.
Also, people cannot park in garages. Literally, no one. It's pathetic. Okay, so I got a couple great stories from.
Please.
Reddit can be either a gold mine or an absolute nightmare. Really, that's what I found out with it.
You know what? I was really slow to the Reddit train, but ever since I've recently got on like full time, I went from freelance to full time. I really enjoy Reddit. You know why? Because my favorite social media app, I think before Reddit, was Twitter. Because it had like a storytelling element, but Reddit is so much more of a story like kind of place, and I love it. I love it.
Twitter's still a little bit of the Wild West, which I can fully value. You can still see the wild, like if there's something on the internet they really want to see that's outlandish and out of control, you go to Twitter. Someone's always putting that crap on there. They're gonna get banned in 35 seconds, but.
I mean, Twitter's where you go to see what's going to be on Facebook and Instagram next week, if you ask me. I mean,
truthfully,
that's really where a lot of the trends I feel like start. But anyhow,
so I one of my favorite Reddit pages before I get into this is the Reddit Amish page, which is just blank. There's just, there's just nothing on it.
That's funny. I like
but
that.
anyways, my other one is just weird stories, and you get like the best headlines out of this. And listen to this one. Woman sues McDonald's after complaining that a cheeseburger advertisement was so irresistible it caused her to break Lent.
Oh my God. Do you think that she really believes that, or is that just her excuse to try and get a lawsuit? Like, is she just after the money?
True. Honest to God, I think it might be both. I truly think people are. I think it's both. People are really dedicated to that thing, and they think maybe this can be a way to get some money. But and you know what the crazy thing is? They might win. I don't know. You think they'll win this?
No.
They might.
No way. I will say though, like I'm the kind of person, like I see right through those commercials, because the burgers, the chicken nuggets, the fries, they never look as good in person as they do in the commercials.
I don't even care, man. It tastes good. That is my trash food. My wife hates it every time. We never ever go out just because we just don't feel like it. But every once in a while I'll tell my wife, I'm like, hey, can we go to McDonald's? And she'll just stare at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, no, that is not what we're doing.
I don't crave McDonald's. Like if for fast food, like I want like a Piata or a Bippy Bop or
Piata sucks. I'm not a Piata fan.
Here's the thing with the Piata.
They gave me stuff with no sauce once. Literally, it's just dry noodles.
Here's the thing. That's the thing. I never order the pasta. The pasta is the worst there. I'll do the salads, which
that's
are really
what they're
fresh.
known for.
So?
That's like going to Chipotle and saying, I don't go for the burritos.
Yeah, you go for the burrito bowls or the salads or the quesadillas or the fajitas or whatever. Well, they don't have fajitas, but actually,
they used to.
They could bring that back.
I thought they did used to.
Well, they have the fajita mix, like you put on your entree, but
so it's a fajita.
Basically,
I mean, it's a fajita.
I mean, it is to a degree, but like I love Swenson's. Like if I want a burger, I'll go to Swenson's. Or
I like Swenson's. I just feel bad when they run to your car. I hate that.
Oh my God!
I feel bad. Like my fat ass is sitting in my Honda Civic. It's this person just
booking
your ass out to my car.
Where's my great milkshake and burger?
And these like track athletes are like
just eating shit on the curb, and I'm like undoing my belt buckle.
Well, and what I like about the Swenson's employees too, like if this is the bag, they'll like carry it like they're like about to do like a relay race,
football, like
like it's like baby Jesus and the nativity scene. You're like, I got to get this.
Then they clamp that thing into your window with force.
I wish there was an option with Swenson's where you could be like, you don't have to run.
Yeah, like on the app, just like, don't run, please do not
just
run.
walk those gams. Yeah, like I don't want to stress you out, but I feel like they make good tip money. Do you think they make good tip money? Because I always tip.
No,
you don't think
anybody who has a tip job does not get tipped well. Literally, no.
Well, I mean, yeah, truth be told, but.
I can't go to those. The running gets me. Like I don't want to go to Swenson just because I don't want to see someone charge at me like they're about to tackle me or something. Like
I will also add the thing that I hate about Swenson's is like my car is a mess. So like I feel like when they come up to take my order, they're just like, what is that? Like,
can you imagine
all the recyclables? And I got like 20 pairs of clothes. I got like DVDs that I haven't taken into the house yet.
Can you imagine like the hellscape Kias they come across, man? Like just. Absolute nightmare of cars.
Also, the amount of times I feel like they have to say you could turn your headlights off. That's probably said 50 times an hour.
I worked many moons ago. I worked at McDonald's, and I would occasionally have to do the drive-through. Man, it made me terrified of the general human population. Like the shit I would see in people's cars. Oh my God! And just how people acted in general.
What are some of the worst things?
I honestly do not know. I do not know how we lasted this long as a civilization. I, hand to God, do not know how we're still here.
Okay, but be honest. What are some of the worst things you've seen when you were working Mickey D's and people pulled up ready for their McDoubles? What did you see?
Naked people.
No!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
Yeah. You would see just a lot of just dirt, just a lot of like cram stuff,
like all these celebrities who don't wash themselves apparently.
And what was really, really weird to see is when like a Porsche would ride up and it would just be filled with trash. Like, what are you doing? No, nude people is weirdly more common than you would think. Only dudes though. Never. It was always naked dudes. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
They get off to it. I mean, they have to, right?
I don't
It's
even
like
want
a thrill. It's like a thrill thing. Like they're just
I used to have people walk through the drive-through.
What is the official verdict on that? Is that like inappropriate or like you can't serve them?
You can't do it, but honestly, if it was like midnight, we would. Like, who cares?
But
like,
here's the problem. What if you guys?
Fight.
But like, I don't know. I feel like that was an issue with like COVID. Like, if you're only gonna have drive-through, but like not everyone has a car.
Well, I mean, I did this obviously non-pandemic time, so I don't know any idea how they handled it. But in our times, like if we would, or people just were drunk, we'd kick them out. But every once in a while, we'd get a kick out of it, and we'd let them do it just for giggles. But bikes was common. Bikes was passable. Honestly, it was kind of passable because it would sometimes be like kids like literally coming home from school, so like whatever, we didn't care. But the walkers was always odd.
Did you have a lot of old people having coffee at your McDonald's? Was that a big thing?
Oh, you mean like treating like a Starbucks where they just sit there and yak for
they just sit there and gossip. All the old guys would sit there and gossip, and then like they'd get their refills.
Yeah, there's a group of like 5 old guys who'd come every Saturday at like 8 a.m. These dudes would be there till noon. But you know what? They were having the freaking time of their life. So you know what? If that's probably gonna be me someday, where I'm old as hell, sitting in the McDonald's, farting, asking for refills on coffee. So you know what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna. As long as you're not messing with me.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna mess with you.
I'm gonna be really honest with you right now. I think McDonald's hot coffee is freaking trash.
It's trash.
Is so bad,
dude. It's like motor oil. You can use it to run your lawnmower. It
tastes like an imitation of what coffee should taste like. It's like it's like a Scantron of a coffee.
It's like if you had a kid who's never had coffee describe what coffee tastes like. That's what.
It's like know how you're supposed to like put your like old medication and contact lenses in coffee grounds or whatever. Then they take those coffee grounds with the pills and the contacts and use that at McDonald's. That's what it's like.
What I never understood is like the coffee machines were like normal coffee makers, and that shit would come out fucking boiling. Like I don't know how.
Well, that lady. Remember the lady who got dumped on and like legitimately got like 3rd-degree burns.
Burns went to the bone
from the coffee.
Like. We would pour like, bro, this is bubbling. How is it this hot from coffee?
It's like straight from the volcano.
Oh man.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I know people who like they like their things hot, but like, come on,
it doesn't need to be magma.
Who wants boiling coffee at McDonald's? Boiling coffee. Like, first of all, if you're a coffee connoisseur who has to have your coffee at like a certain temp, why are you at McDonald's for coffee to begin with?
I love how they put McCafe on the cup. Like, bro, stay in your lane. You're at McDonald's. Okay.
Well, I gotta say, the fact that they put Mick in front of everything, they're like, welcome to McDonald's. Can you help yourself to a McFry? It's like, calm down.
The place I had a play place, and it was the worst. Kids would crap in that thing 24/7.
No.
That's literally all it was. Oh man, moving on. Hey, have you seen this Britney Spears drama going on with all that?
Yeah, Paul, you were talking to the lover of
pop
culture.
That was a dumb question, wasn't it?
I am the host of the game show on YouTube called Pop It, where we discuss pop culture. I am all about this. I am on top of this. So tell me, what's up?
You might have seen this then, but I just thought this headline and story itself was interesting. Britney Spears just bought her first ever iPad. Like, that's it. It's just literally about her buying her iPad. Like, I know, didn't a couple weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, she did some, like, batshit crazy stuff on Instagram. What was that? What was going on with that? Like,
she posted some, like, shady comments because, here's kind of where we're at. So, her sister was like, oh my god, I didn't know that, like, Britney...
Dude, the little one, her little sister, right?
Yeah, Jamie Lynn.
Didn't they have to cut her show short because she got pregnant? Or is that just a rumor?
I think the show did get cut because she was pregnant, but I think it didn't help that she was pregnant. Like, either it got canceled because she was pregnant, or then she was pregnant and they were like, maybe let's not continue it. But anyway, everyone who's watched that show, it's called Zoe 101.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but apparently she's like the worst. Like, everyone loves the show.
You mean like a terrible actor?
Like, everyone loves the show but hates her, which is crazy because the show's named after her and her character. So it's like, how does that work? Like, I couldn't imagine watching a show where I'm like, I hate the main character, but those secondary characters, delicious.
They'd be like listening to our podcast and be like, yeah, but Matt and Paul blow.
I love Matt and Paul's podcast, but Matt Rebar can suck a fat one. Like, why are you listening then? Like, what? Like, just
it's all about me, man.
Listen, I could name you 15 podcasts right now that you could listen to. If you hate me, why are you listening? You know,
it is not a responsibility for you to like us.
Yeah, meanwhile, like the Matt Rebar hate fan club right now is listening like, oh, this bitch. This makes me hate him even more. So
I wish we got prison mail. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Do you think they listen to us in prison?
You know what? That would be a fun episode. Matt and Paul get prison mail. I mean, that would really be one for the books.
We should go to just do a podcast from jail. You know, there actually is a podcast that is done from prison, and it's actually really good. It's in New York, and I was listening to it all before the pandemic went down, so I doubt it continued. But it was legit a couple of prisoners who did a podcast in jail.
I'd love to hear that.
And it was really, really good. And it was obviously muted, I'm sure, for some things they could not say because there was guards 2 feet away.
Like
but
bleeped out, like, and then he bleep, 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 bleep. But, wait, so we're talking about Britney Spears. Okay, so Jamie posted, like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to speak up. I was going to let her do it. And then Britney was like, posted something to the effect of, like, when people, like, want to act like they're helping you, but they're not. And then Jamie posted something else. And, like, so it was some shady comments, been back and forth. Clearly, Jamie Lynn sucks. I'm sorry. She just does. You know, your own sister is paying for your lifestyle, and you're silent because you profit off of your sister being a conservative.
Let's be honest. She's only famous because of Britney. Really. That's 100%.
A billion percent. Yeah. So what scoop did you look into? What's the latest? What's happening?
With that, or with just...
Well, yeah, you just brought up Free Britney and what's been going on.
Oh, well, I just think that... I mean, I haven't followed it probably as close as you have. But didn't they just... she lost her case, didn't she? And she's still under the rule of her father?
No, well, I'm trying to remember the exact details. Her father owns her estate.
First of all, let's just get back to...
But not her person, I think, if that's where it's at. So her father is still in charge of the estate, but I think she has someone different who's in charge of her person. What they're trying to do is get rid of the dad altogether, so that he's
Do you think she should just have full control with this? He is a grown adult.
Oh, 100%. Well, I've been listening to...
Like, if she goes broke and does stupid stuff, that's on her.
Speaking of podcasts that you can listen to if you hate me, there's a podcast out there called Toxic, the Britney Spears story. They have like 6 or 7 episodes out. I think they're going to do like 10, 11, 12, something like that. And it's covering everything. And what was so shocking was they did a whole episode about how a 50-51 was put out for her, which is basically like...
Isn't that where they put you in institution?
Yeah, the government comes in, they're like, hey girl, we are locking you away.
Yeah.
And the whole speculation was that her dad called it in. And that's what, like, basically...
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then they talk about how the conservatorship, they were supposed to have a document that basically said that Britney couldn't be in control of herself. They never had that document, and the conservatorship still got approved, which is unheard of. So it's really... I mean,
how did that even happen, then?
I mean, corrupt judges...
I mean, how old is she? Like, she's like, what, 45?
No, is she 40? 42?
Oh, she's in her 40s for sure.
Because in 1999, she would have been like 20. So yeah, she's probably like 40. Like, let's take a look. Because I feel like
you got this Google.
We got Google right here.
I'm gonna say 44 or 45.
No, I think she's a little younger than that.
No,
39. Ooh.
Oh damn.
She's born 81. So 81.
So she
91.
I mean, she's
turning 40 in December. Yeah.
If she goes broke on her own, she goes broke on her own. I mean,
but that's the thing. She's the one making the money that everyone is leeching off of. Her sister, her dad. I mean, even her management.
The whole thing is just so bizarre. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe this is common. We only know this because it's Britney Spears and she's famous. But it just seems so weird that a 39-year-old woman who's, I mean, she's a little wonky. We all know she's a little off kilter. But, I mean... She's 39. Just let her fail on her own at that point.
See, but that's the thing. I don't think she's wonky. She is a little nerdy for sure.
She's a little out there.
Well, she's made some bad decisions, but I think we all would have. I mean, she grew up from a young child.
Oh, well, she got messed up by the pop star dumb of everything.
I mean, between her parents and who, and I think just society, and you got to think about too when she was the paparazzi was still like, that was how we got news. Today, like, where's the paparazzi today? Like, you rarely.
Oh, they're still there.
They're still there, but they don't have as much power and influence because now, celebrities can go on their social media. We get access to these celebrities in that way, right? So, no, I think she deserves. I obviously think she deserves freedom, and I think it's good for her that she's fighting and that she refuses to work under these conditions and. Yeah, I'm hoping that
does she still have the Vegas residency, or is that ended?
She canceled it. She refused to do it because She didn't want to, and her management and parents tried to force her to do it, so she was like, nope.
That is why something similar is why O.J. Simpson has never done anything since his court case, because that ruling came down that he has to give a certain amount of future profits of anything he does to the family. So he does nothing. He does literally nothing. So he doesn't have to give them money for profits or anything.
Yeah, is it Ron Goldman was the other, that was the second
Yeah,
one?
and it's like 70-some%. And so he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, which is crazy, because it's like, how does he even make money? But I guess
have you seen his Twitter, by the way? I know we're going off.
I refuse to acknowledge.
It's
I mean,
weird.
I've seen it, but like,
because he doesn't do anything text. He just all videos that, hey, this is OJ.
I think people with OJ, they like to make it seem like, oh, it's just OJ, and it's like, he killed 2 people. He like, I'm sorry, I don't want to break the news to people, but like, we shouldn't be glorifying him. I
agree. The only thing is the further you get away from that, the further people my age. I don't remember it. I was a baby.
Oh yeah,
and so the further you get away from it, the people don't really realize or think about it. So there is that too. Yeah. I mean, so you can't really blame people for like Gen X. They have no idea what the hell they might even not who.
You mean Gen Z?
Gen Z might not even know who he is. Man, I'm getting them all mixed up. But I have one more for you.
Oh, please.
And this is great. It's a political one. We don't have to be on it.
Oh, here we go.
Ready? A Trump-appointed Department of Justice official claimed that Chinese thermostats changed votes during the election.
What? Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to be open-minded. I really am, but I really don't understand that connection at all. I don't get how that's supposed to have changed the votes.
Apparently, well, they tried to go for the machines and everything, and they looked in the machines, and nothing was hinky with the machines. So they said, well, it's got to be something in the room, and the only thing they could point to is the thermostats, that the thermostats are programmed to do.
Can we just move on?
I gotta tell you this. You know that book they've been touting for a while? It's called Landslide or whatever.
No, this is news to me.
It's called Landslide, and it's about the final days of the Trump presidency. It's a total tabloidy BS kind of thing, but I bought it just because I was like, I'm into this. And even if a quarter of the things in this book are true, man, it is psycho what was going on behind closed doors, like just crazy. But I saw someone who had posted this the other day too, and this kind of ties into everything with the drama and everything. That I think people are more obsessed with small scale drama than big celebrity drama. And that's kind of like with the Trump thing, which people love so much, because that was small scale in the fact that it was just like little nitty gritty arguments. And someone's like, I'd rather hear about the arguments about why all the Kohl's night shift workers hate each other than like why Rihanna's in a feud on Instagram.
Yeah. I get that.
Oh man. You got any advice for us this week? I know you usually bring.
You know what? We can fly through it real quick. I found this one. Speaking of political, and I thought of you. So the title of this is "Interviewer Badmouthed Me to My References because I didn't want to harness the power of QAnon."
What?
Get this. After 15 years as a nonprofit executive director, I've struck out on my own as a nonprofit consultant. While much of my business is word of mouth and comes to me, I do sometimes throw in my hat for positions I see online. One was for an organization that works in a very niche field of victim services for children. I've worked in child welfare for many years, yada, yada, yada. The process was cumbersome, the time was paid, the work was critical on executive level, blah, 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 blah. Then came the meeting with the founder and the board. What started off as an informative and productive conversation developed within about 15 minutes to their statement that we need to, quote, harness the power of QAnon. Because this organization serves a population that would be harmed if one of QAnon's biggest conspiracy theories was true. And the board felt that QAnon members would want to throw money at this cause. I probably was just open-mouthed and speechless on Zoom for a solid 15 seconds before composing myself, diplomatically saying that I think that they should turn down offers if those offers came from people who align themselves with QAnon. It went badly from there. I politely excused myself from the call, followed up with an email that reiterated I was withdrawing my candidacy. However, one of the board members called the references, which was there were 6 of them submitted, to let the references know that she was largely unprofessional. She let politics get in the way of the work. She didn't have the best interests of victims at heart. And so she doesn't really know like what to do. And so then
that's like retributive right there.
I know. So then the advice from askmanager.org, it's like, okay, I think their calls are going to be crazier than anything you could do. What you could probably just do is call your references and just be like, hey, you might get a really strange phone call from an organization that I don't want to work for, which was offended during the interview process about strategy. If you do get that call, I'm sorry that, they waste your time, etc. Keeping it short and breezy, but putting it for context if people are wondering. How insane is that? So it looks like it's like a child victim services, and QAnon has a lot of these conspiracies about like pedophiles and the government and rich people are pedophiles and the Pizzagate. And so it looks like they want to like utilize that and like rev those engines to make money.
Anybody who wants to utilize QAnon is batshit. And QAnon shouldn't be touched with a 10-foot pole. Man, it is scary. Honest to God, man, it is scary.
But it sounds like, okay, it's one thing to be like, let's use QAnon people for their money versus let's use QAnon people for their money and
so you're
agree
okay
with them. You know what I mean? There's like a...
Would you use them for their money? Are you on their side? If you're going to
profit off it? I wouldn't want anything to do with them. But like, to me, it doesn't sound like it's just using them for the money. It sounds like these people like kind of are into it, right? It sounds like they're kind of into it, and so
especially
that's what's even scarier.
Especially if they get ramped up enough to call your references. So no thanks.
Like if a bunch of liberals want to be like, oh, we're gonna scam QAnon people by making them buy like QAnon phones, or I don't know what. Like that's kind of funny. I could, but like I agree with what you said. This concept of like you're poking the dragon. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to deal with it. So
absolutely not. And
what would you do? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If someone called my references like that?
Yeah, or just like what would you do if you're in an interview and they were like, by the way, we really want to appeal to QAnon people so we can get their money.
I would probably legit at first think I was being pranked. Like there's no way it can be real. Like I guess it would depend on like if I was applying for a position where maybe they leaned a certain way, you're like, okay, maybe like it's not totally out of the woodwork. But for that to come up, I would quite literally think someone was joking around. Yeah. But then when they call your references, they're that level of crazy. And I would hope that references would back you up, but the bad thing is I could see stuff like this happening more and more, honestly. And because as weird as it sounds, the QAnon crowd is a crowd that gets riled up easily and will follow you if you believe what they say. They will follow you to the ends of the earth, and companies are going to want to capitalize on that. No joke.
Yeah,
they will want to capitalize on that loyalty, and I would be surprised if some way there's somebody in an executive office thinking, how can we harness this and not look bad?
Ooh, yeah.
I guarantee you that's happening. Where they'll say, how can we use this fan base but not look like we're the bad guys? They don't care about morals. A lot of them don't. Yeah. But I don't know. I could see it happening more.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. That's just something that's kind of scary. Right? I mean,
QAnon's scary. It's legit scary. Have you ever listened to the history of QAnon?
There was a podcast actually that talked about like who was behind QAnon. Which
It was it's
like these rich guys from like these rich guys who are like living. I think it was like in Taiwan or something.
There's a great story about it, and it was done by Reply All. Unfortunately, that podcast had a very unceremonious collapse.
You know what's funny?
Itself,
I did hear. You're right. I heard it from Reply All, but actually they're back. They
I haven't checked.
They are back. I mean, the new stuff, it's been cute, but I think they're kind of figuring out who they are since for those who don't know, Reply All, it's a great podcast, but they had a few staff
great company too,
who,
I thought.
Were unfortunately decided to resign due to some scandals and some. I don't want to get into it because it's not our. We're not like experts at it. Like, well, let me tell you exactly what happened, Paul. Anywho, but they have a great episode. I definitely think if you want to know, that's where to go. So
long story short, what I think happened was it started all from a guy who created 8chan. 4chan is a pretty uncontrolled a forum website. 8chan was even more radical. And a guy created it as a joke, and then a guy in the Philippines bought it, and then he would post his queue, and that's pretty much how it started. Yeah. And he basically realized that these people would believe anything he said, and he just made up crap. And that's basically how it started.
And that's what you missed on Glee. Well, anyway, this has been a longer episode, but we got so much done, and I think it was a good time. So I appreciate y'all listening in, and if you hate me, stay hating. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
God, man, can you...
Stay hating. That's actually really
You
funny.
act like you're 45 sometimes.
Stay hating.
You got your Garfield shirt on.
I'm going to do what I want. And like I'm an old man about to have my old man breakfast. All right. Well, peace out.
Later.